Hoods. Take off your hoods. Take out your ear pods. Today is a very important message. Okay? Academically, there is an elephant in the room. What's the elephant in the room in academics right now? Anyone know? What am I talking about? What is the thing that's looming that everyone's aware of, that we know exists? AI. Yeah, exactly. Okay? AI. What's AI? Artificial intelligence, okay? And what's the form of AI that, most of us are aware of and, can name? ChatGPT, right? ChatGPT. Does anyone in here not know what ChatGPT is? Liars. Liars, okay? So, it exists, right? It exists. And it's not going anywhere. That's important to note, okay? Technology doesn't stop evolving. It's going to keep going and it's going to keep going. So part of the issue with us, all of us collectively, your teachers, you, is figuring out, who we are as it evolves. Okay? And what's important. Okay? So this morning we're going to have a guest speaker kind of talk about AI and ChatGPT and try to plant the seed, okay, of kind of thought process with you. So you can sort of digest AI, the growth of AI, and all of that. Okay, so this morning's talk will be from Mr. Maddox.
All right, good morning. Thank you, Mrs. Case. I was up here last year. How many of you remember my AI talk last year? Okay, a handful. Maybe not quite enough. Good thing we're redoing it. But it's going to be a little different. I want to talk from a kind of a different perspective. Last year, I talked a little more about why you should be careful, why you should think twice before using AI. And I'm thinking this year to give you a little bit of a different perspective on what AI usage means, how to use it well, and what ways are not so good for using it. I do want to be clear from the beginning, personally, I really, really don't like AI. I never use it. I think it's bad. I was recently oh, that's actually the wrong slide. This was my second rally that I went to, the Pro AI rally. They changed my views here. I had a previous picture of my No AI rally. That one's not there, unfortunately. No, the truth is I do like AI. I think it's really cool. I use it. How many of you use AI regularly? This is my favorite question. This is my favorite question. I'm proud of those of you who are honest. I will raise my hand. I use AI. I think it's great. It's a wonderful tool. And some of you, maybe many of you use it. Some of you, I'm sure, if I asked you, are you sometimes scared to use AI because you're always told it's so bad, don't use it? How many of you ever feel like, I'm not sure if I should, I'm kind of scared about it? Yeah, that's fair. So actually, for the rest of this talk, I want to try not to take that perspective. AI is not a terrible, horrible thing. You guys have seen some of these. Everybody knows ChatGPT, Gemini. I should have this quote at the bottom here, in quotations. This is something you often hear Mrs. Keiss say. AI is here, and it's here to stay. So one of our goals is not to imbue you with fear that, oh, this is never a good thing. But we do want you to be careful and to understand where our concerns come from as teachers, as people. So I'm going to talk about just 3 things to consider in your life when you're using AI responsibly. 3 different main points. First one, I'm just going to have you think about this picture real quick. Take a look. Think about it. And we're going to come back to it. Moving on. Reason number 1 to be careful when you're using AI. AI lies. I'm sure you all know this, have experienced it. In my usage of AI, I've experienced it many times, and I'll show you a few examples. Well, first, let me just explain. AI is trained on data. They learn things. They learn things based on people sitting in an office, training a language model, giving it information, same as you, same as me. We read things, we watch videos, we take in information, and that's what we know. AI is the same way, just a lot more. It's very big, but it's trained on information. So if their information is wrong, if their sources are flawed, or sometimes if they're just confused by our questions, they can give us incorrect information. It's more common than you might think. So a few examples. This is one question I asked ChatGPT last year. Can you give me a list of countries that have never been empires? Never in their history been an empire. And it gave me a few examples. Some of them I was expecting. Switzerland, they've been a very neutral country. They've kept to themselves. Never been an empire. Costa Rica, Iceland, they've never been empires. Japan was the one that surprised me on this list. Some of you might know a little bit about the history of Japan. Even in this explanation, it says, while Japan had periods of expansion, for example, the Empire of Japan, it was not an empire. That's what the AI claimed to me. This is a picture of the Empire of Japan, about 80 years ago. You can see the number of different countries that were under Japanese control. It includes Korea, parts of China, Vietnam, the Philippines, all throughout the Pacific Islands. So this is just completely untrue, and I don't know why it would say something like this. Sometimes in AI language it's called hallucinations, and if you ask it again, hey, why did you say this thing? It's not true. It will just say, well, I'm sorry, I was wrong. That's an AI hallucination. They're very common. The problem with just blindly trusting AI information is that sometimes it gets it wrong. And if you're not careful, it can trick you or confuse you or give you wrong information that you then store away. I'll give you another example. Anybody know what this ship is? I hear a lot of people saying Titanic. It's a Titanic. It was a beautiful ship. It sank about 100 years ago, a little more than that. Sank to the bottom of the ocean, and now it's a wreck. On the Titanic, this is true. They had a swimming pool. It was a luxury cruise. It was a very, very nice ship. They had a swimming pool. So that swimming pool is still there. Do you think it's filled with water? Who thinks the swimming pool on the Titanic right now is filled with water? Why do you think that? Anybody? Because it's underwater. So it's full of water. Seawater. Yeah. Maybe full of sand, but most likely it's got some water in it because it's underwater. If you raise your hand, congratulations. You're smarter than AI. I asked Google, is the swimming pool full of water? No. The Titanic swimming pool is not full of water. It's empty because the ship sank. The immense pressure would crush any air-filled space within the wreck, including the pool. The pool would have drained as the ship sank, and the priority during evacuation was passenger safety, not maintaining the pool's water level. That's a very funny response. It's a very strange response, too. So if you said, yeah, I think the pool is full of water because it's under the ocean, you are smarter than AI. Well done. So there are problems with AI responses. They don't always understand the humor of a question like that. And they give maybe this is a funny answer intentionally. it's kind of hard to tell with AI. You're not really expecting a joke as a response. But I want to point to another problem with it. If you've seen recently, in the last year or two, the Google Search AI overview will give you some of the sources they use. What's the very first source that you see? Can you see that little, I don't know if I can point with it. Yeah, can you see what this says? This is Quora. Have you heard of that website? What about Reddit? You've heard of Reddit, right? Quora is similar to Reddit, maybe a little nicer, a little more polished, but it's basically just random people saying their opinions with nobody checking any information. Same as Reddit. Sometimes there's good stuff there, sometimes there's complete nonsense. And you really have no way of telling without doing deeper investigation. So if AI overview is quoting Quora, and another example you'll see is Reddit, another is Facebook, I will very often see on this sidebar, this is telling you where did the AI get the information from. It's from platforms of just random people saying random things. That's not a good source. If you're in my pre-college English class, I talk about sources. Where you get your information from matters. And you have to be careful with the sources AI gets it from. Another thing you will see in places like Quora or Reddit is AI overviews that then AI itself will start referencing, and it turns into something called a feedback loop. All of you know what a feedback loop is. You ever hear a microphone? It starts ringing and ringing and ringing, getting louder, and then there's a pop and everyone shuts off the speakers. You know what I'm talking about? I could do it right now, but it would be kind of uncomfortable for everybody. So I will just give you one more example about AI feedback loops. How many of you are into science? How many of you like science? Oh, not enough. Science is great. Has anybody heard of vegetative electron microscopy? I don't think so. And there's a reason for it. You want to know the reason? That none of you know what this is? It doesn't exist. Good guess. It's not real. But it's been showing up in academic papers over the last few years. So there's been some researchers who were really curious about this. What does this mean? Where did it come from? And they had to do a little bit of digging to try to figure out what is this phrase? Why is it starting to appear in different academic papers, high-level papers that have been published? I asked ChatGPT, this is the picture it gave me, it doesn't know what it's talking about. The truth is, it was a scanning error. There was a paper on bacteria published in the 1950s, and when people go to scan these old papers in, like it's all printed out, they scan it into the computer, sometimes there's little mistakes. So the scanner, it reads all the text, turns it into a PDF, and sometimes it just gets lost. For whatever reason, it made a mistake. And it included 2 words from a different column. Simple mistake. But this phrase entered the paper, the electronic version, and then other people started referencing this paper and started using this phrase. So as of this year, there are about 22 different academic papers that have used the phrase vegetative electron microscopy. That isn't real. But people start citing the previous sources. They start using bad information, and it spreads around to the point where it's very difficult to figure out what's true information and what's not. This is just one example. But there are plenty more that you could find on your own time. You might be one who discovers it. All of this is to say that there are dangers on the internet. Dangers as far as not good information. Okay, but you all know this, I'm sure. So maybe you want to know, well, what else? Well, I know this, so what other reasons should I be careful about using AI? I'll give you number 2, which is AI dependence. It can lead to actual problems in your life in the future. You know, dependence on anything can cause problems. Many of us are dependent on our own electronics already. How many of you think maybe you spend a little too much time on social media? A few brave souls. I applaud you. I probably do too, to be honest. It's easy to become dependent or just really attached to our electronics, and definitely to AI, because it's convenient, it's useful, it's helpful. But I'll ask you this: what is the greatest tool you have to building your future? 20 seconds, talk with your neighbors. Come up with some ideas. What's your greatest tool that you have to building your life and your future? There's a few things you could say. I'll ask in a sec. Okay, what do we think? I got someone over here who wanted to say? No? What do you think? Your brain, your imagination is what I hear over here. Anybody agree? Very good. Anything else that we came up with? No? That's the main one? Money. Money is true. But how do you make money? You got to be creative. You got to think and use your brain. I would say your brain. Your brain is your most powerful tool in your whole life. You're going to do all sorts of different things in your life. How many of you are athletes? Quite a lot of you. You need your brain to be a good athlete. You got to know strategy. Your brain is muscle control. I asked about science. How many of you are interested in writing or English or history? All right, you definitely need your brain in those fields. The point is, anywhere you go, anything you do in your life, you need your brain. You need your mind and your creativity. I bet you all of you take your own mind for granted. I bet you take your intelligence and your creativity for granted, which is fine. We all do. But your brain is a part of your body, and like other parts of your body, like your muscles, it needs exercise. It needs a workout every now and again in order for it to stay fit. So we're back here. We got an elevator and a set of stairs. Another question. And be fully honest, which one would you take? If you could choose, the elevator or the stairs, who would take the elevator? Oh, it depends? Okay. Who would take the stairs? That's a fair question. How about just for the elevator, what are reasons you would want to take the elevator? For any reason. Maybe what if it breaks? That's possible. Sammy. If you lived and you came with groceries, either here or maybe you live in a 10-story apartment, do you want to carry your groceries all the way up to the top floor? Maybe sometimes. It's a lot of work though. Okay, but what reason would you ever have to take the stairs if you have an elevator? Edward. It's fast? Well, for one floor, maybe. What about for 10 floors? I think the elevator's faster. Oh, exercise for your legs. Okay, well, why do you need to exercise your legs? That's possible. More likely you just, your knees get bad, your muscles are weaker. And again, many of you, you're all still in school. You probably take your good health for granted too. But the truth is, as you go through life, some of these things get a little harder. It's not always the easiest thing to run up and down a set of stairs. Sometimes when you have an elevator that's easy to use, you have to make effort to ever use the stairs. For example, staff in the building, we are allowed to use the elevator. It's an old elevator, we want to take care of it, but we're allowed to use it. But sometimes we actually make effort to use the stairs. Why would we do this? Actually, we didn't take the stairs just one time. We did it like 10, 12 times. Maybe we're crazy. Or maybe we're making an effort to take care of ourselves, to take care of our bodies, to exercise our legs, our knees, our lungs, to burn some calories, to stay fit, to stay healthy. I'm giving this example for a couple of reasons. One, genuinely, your brain is something that will go down in quality. It will atrophy when you don't use it well. Your brain takes exercise, stimulation. It needs those things to be healthy. So is using AI a bad thing on its own? I don't think so. But if it's used too much and you don't use your own mind enough, over time you can start to feel the consequence of that. Your own mind starts to deteriorate, which is not a good thing. We're talking about AI now, but this is something that has been true throughout history. There has been cycles repeating of new technology and the old way of life. Anytime there's a new technology, people jump on it. They want to use it, and other people are really scared of it. Oh, it's going to change the world. It's going to change life, and it's not good. The same was true for cell phones. The same was true for computers. The same was true for cars. Any kind of technology that changes the world very quickly can be really good, but you also have to think about what do you lose if you use it too much. So is there any value still in the old way of life, of taking the stairs? That's something you have to think about for your own life. This is a quote that I love. Writing is thinking. To write well is to think clearly. That's why it's so hard. So if you're in my writing class, you're learning to write, but you're also learning to think. If you're in Miss L's science class, you're learning biology, you're learning chemistry, but you're also learning to think. And that is a powerful thing in your life. So we focus on pushing you not to use AI because we value your thinking. We value your growth of your own mind. And it's easy to lose that with the use of AI if you're not careful with it. So exercise your brain. Okay, but maybe you say, I already know the internet is dangerous, and I don't really care about brain health, so checkmate. I can use AI. Well, that leads it to reason number 3. This is not my favorite reason. I prefer reason 1 and 2. But it's important to remember that AI usage is usually considered cheating in school. If you don't have permission, if you use it in a class in a way that you're pretending that it's your own work, it's not allowed. And it is cheating and academic misconduct. It means there will be consequences for it. So one more example. This is my car. I like my car. I use my car. I used it yesterday for a lot of things. I go places, I get groceries, I visit friends and family. Cars are great inventions. You use them for a lot of things. Well done. This is AI. This is not a real picture. But for example, would it be fair if I said, I like my car so much, I'm going to run a marathon in my car? It's not. What do you mean? Yeah, but it's still me. I'm in control. What does that matter? It's just you're trying to go the distance, right? If you're trying to run a marathon, you can't drive a car? Well, good thing this is a fake photo then, but it's a very good point. There are things that you are meant to do with technology, and there are things that you can't do. Honestly, any of you would look at this and say, that's just crazy. You can't run a marathon in a car. It doesn't make any sense. Maybe it's a little harder to see the comparison of you can't write an AI paper and say that it's your own. Maybe you can see the comparison, maybe not. I definitely see it because I deal with it so much. It doesn't mean that using AI is wrong or that you can't ever do it. There are times in your life where you can. But when we are testing something like, what is your writing ability? Or how much of the history chapter do you remember? Does it make any sense to use a technology that's completely separate from yourself? You're reluctant to shake your heads no, but I know you're thinking it. It doesn't make any sense. It's actually this comparison. They're two completely different things. I can still say this and then find a good use for my car. I could be a winner, but not in this case. The point of all of this is to make sure you understand that using AI can get you in trouble in school, in university, maybe in your workplace too, and it does have real consequences. These two people, they didn't use AI. They cheated the old-fashioned way. We have a lady, Claudine Gay, on the left, and on the right, we got a guy that all of you know. All of you know who this guy on the right is? Oh, sorry. Joe Biden. It's a very young Joe Biden. Okay, both of these people had their careers affected because of plagiarism, taking other people's ideas and putting it in their own writing, which you can't do. You can't steal other people's ideas. She lost her job as the head of Harvard University. He was running for president in the 1980s, and he was doing really well, but he had to drop out when people found out that he cheated his way through law school, essentially. And he made up for it afterwards, but he couldn't be president. He had to wait 40 years, and he won. So he's a persistent guy. But it had a really big effect on both of their lives. These are worst case scenarios, and we don't want anything like this for you. The same of plagiarism is true for AI usage. When you take AI ideas and you act like it's your own, that's considered cheating. So you've got to be careful. And the bottom line of all of this, I keep saying it, you should be careful. Maybe you're somebody who wants to learn how to use AI really well. If you're interested in that, come talk to me. I would love to show you how I use AI without sacrificing my own creativity. And I hope you can all find that out. We've said AI is here, it's here to stay. It's also going to get better. It is. How long has ChatGPT been around? 3 years. And it's gotten so much better in the last 3 years. It really has. And in the next 3 years, it's going to get way better. You'll see fewer errors. It's going to be smarter, answer your questions more precisely. It will do all these things. but you're always going to have to make this decision in your life. When is the right time to take the elevator? And when, if ever, is there a good time to take the stairs? Just something to think about. Thank you for listening. Have a great day.
Very good. Food for thought. Okay, I have important announcements, okay? Let me get my announcements out. Okay. Please pay attention. PSAT test for 9th graders on Friday starts promptly after homeroom. So 9th graders, you need to be here on time on Friday. Okay? Late arrivals, students must be on time for the test. Late arrivals, you will not be permitted to take the test. Okay, so if you are late, you will not be allowed in. These are rules, not from BIA, but from the state that we get the rules from, okay? Testing will take place in the large computer lab and the small computer lab. We ask all students in the school to be quiet during the morning when the testing is happening. 9th graders who are taking the test on your own computers are asked to make sure that they have downloaded Blue Book. And during this week, they need to open up Blue Book as there is a new update that will be automatically downloaded. So 9th graders, if you are using your own computer for this test, you need to open up Blue Book, download Blue Book, open it up so that you get the update. Mr. Shin, it is also important that all school computers being used download this new update. Oh, that was directly from Mr. Shin. Okay? Seniors. So freshmen, if you have questions, you can talk to Dr. Swartz. Okay? Seniors. All seniors will be gathering on Friday morning to work on college applications. This will take place in Spurgeon Hall. Miss Perkins will give you more details after this assembly when the seniors meet. Okay, so it is senior application day. Okay, bus stickers are available in the office for those that qualify. Okay, it's not a free-for-all. Bus stickers are through the city, not through us. So if you qualify for a bus sticker, Miss Shima says they are in the office. Seniors, another important update. Tomorrow, is it looking like no rain? It looks good tomorrow? Okay, so tomorrow we are doing senior photos. Senior photos, that means you're in your cap and gown, okay? You must be here, seniors, at 8 a.m., okay? You must be here at 8 a.m. ready for your senior photo. Do not be late, okay? Because we need to get those photos in. Also, this Wednesday, Thursday is Yom Kippur. We are open. We are open, okay? Again, we are open. Come to school. Then also on October 6th, which is next Monday, believe it or not, we're already into October, we are going to do a potluck, okay, for Mid-Autumn Festival. So local students, please talk to your parents about bringing something in for the potluck, okay? Dorm students, if you want to make something to contribute, that would be awesome too, okay? But local students, we will be reaching out. Keep that in mind, okay? Teachers, any other updates that I might have missed? Miss Perkins. Stony Brook is coming this week, so please talk to Miss Perkins if you are interested in sitting in on the Stony Brook talk. Okay? Miss L. Oh, it's the end of quarter. Is that this Friday? In 2 weeks. Oh, excellent timing. The end of the quarter, meaning first report cards. Okay, you've got 2 weeks. 2 weeks. Yeah, some of you are like, oh no, my day got busier. Okay, 2 weeks. So I have a question for you. Should you wait 2 weeks, because that's the deadline, to talk to your teachers? No, now is the time. okay? Get on Plus portals, check your grades, talk to your teachers. Now, don't wait for 2 weeks, or don't wait until the report card comes and go angry to your teacher. Why'd you give me this grade? No, you need to talk to them ahead of time, okay? So talk to your teachers. You've got 2 weeks in this quarter, okay? Any other announcements, teachers? Looks like we're okay. So first, Mr. Shin. Oh yeah, the seniors are going to stay. Mr. Shin, can you project? Okay, the girls, freshmen, sophomores, and juniors, you guys are free to go. Girls, because you guys did a great job sitting this morning. Boys, we're going to clean this up. What? The seats are assigned. Oh, girls, can you move the seats to the side? Just move the seats. Okay, now we're going to look at the boys.